Remember getting your first job? For a whole generation, working at a supermarket was practically a rite of passage. But today, that idea feels like something from a history book. We are in the middle of a full-blown supermarket apocalypse, and trust me, it is not what you think. 350,000 jobs. Just let that number sink in. That is how many jobs are sitting open right now in Brazilian supermarkets. It's this massive, gaping hole in an industry we literally all depend on. It's a paradox that makes absolutely no sense. I mean, with that many jobs up for grabs, you'd think people would be lining up around the block, right? But they're not. In fact, the exact opposite is happening. Supermarkets are desperate, and in this explainer, we're going to pull back the curtain and find out exactly why. Okay, let's get right into it. The first piece of this puzzle is, well, it's painfully simple. The job itself has become something nobody wants to do anymore. The whole idea of what it means to work in a supermarket has fundamentally changed. This right here tells the whole story. What used to be a decent first gig is now seen as a total last resort. I mean, think about it. In today's gig economy, why would you commit to a rigid, low-paying job when you can get a flexible gig with more freedom and oftentimes way better money? The whole deal has just fallen apart. And this is where it gets really shady. So you apply for a job and the title says cashier. But surprise, what they don't tell you in the interview is that you're also gonna be the stocker. Yeah, you're responsible for making sure every single shelf is perfectly full. And that spill in aisle 3? Guess what? Congratulations, you just got a promotion. You're the janitor now too. So you're doing 3 jobs, but that paycheck? Oh, that's still just for 1. It's this dirty little secret of the industry, and frankly, people have just had enough. They're refusing to play the game anymore. And if you think that's bad, it gets so much worse when you actually look at the money. Because for a lot of people, this isn't just a job they don't want, it's a job they literally can't afford to take. This chart just lays out the brutal reality. A typical salary is about 1,600 reais. But just basic rent and a simple basket of food can easily cost you over 1,300. So what's left? What are you supposed to use for transportation, for bills, for, I don't know, actually having a life? The math doesn't just not add up, it's actively working against you. And hey, don't just take my word for it. The industry's own leaders are admitting it. The vice president of the Brazilian Supermarket Association said it himself. The power has completely flipped. It's the companies who are begging for workers now. The entire game has changed. So this is the part where everyone watching is probably thinking the exact same thing, right? If you're so desperate for people, why not just pay more? Just offer a decent wage. And the answer, the whole complicated reason why, comes down to this one tiny number, 2%. That is the razor-thin, paper-thin average profit margin for a supermarket. For every 100 reals you spend, the store might only keep 2. All of a sudden, just paying more isn't a solution, it's a potential bankruptcy notice. But here's the crazy irony. Not paying more is also costing them an absolute fortune. They are just hemorrhaging money from people quitting all the time. You got chains like OXXO that have literally had to stop opening new stores because they can't find anyone to work there. It is a complete economic death spiral. So they're trapped. They can't afford to pay more, but they can't afford not to. So what do? They start looking for employees in places nobody would have dreamed of just a few years ago. They are literally partnering with the military to hire army reservists. They're going after retirees, the elderly, people with disabilities. Carrefour alone hired over 50,000 people from the government's low-income registry. They are turning over every single rock just trying to find a pulse. But of course, if you can't get humans to do the job, there's always the promise of technology, right? Let's talk about the rise of the machines. Self-checkouts. On paper, it's the perfect fix. No salaries, no sick days, no complaints. You solve the human problem by just getting rid of the human. This has to be the end of the crisis, right? Yeah, not so fast, because while Brazil is racing to install these things everywhere, something really weird is happening in other parts of the world. Huge chains in the US and the UK, they're ripping them out. Why? Well, customers hate them, and theft goes through the roof. The perfect solution is already failing. And this slide right here shows the absolutely terrifying gamble Brazil is taking. While the rest of the world is learning this incredibly expensive lesson and bringing back human cashiers, Brazil is flooring it in the opposite direction. It's like they're watching everyone else run away from a cliff, and they've decided to sprint towards it at full speed. So where in the world does this leave us? We're stuck in this total nightmare scenario. The humans don't want the jobs, and the robot replacement is turning out to be a deeply flawed Trojan horse. And this is the key takeaway. We are stuck in what I'm calling the supermarket deadlock. It's a trap. The jobs don't pay enough to attract people, but the tech that's supposed to replace them is creating a whole new universe of problems. There is no easy way out of this. Which leads us to the one final and honestly kind of chilling question. If the technology is a bust and people refuse to work, who is actually going to be there to stock the shelves and scan your groceries in 10 years? Who will be left? Look, this isn't just about business. It's about the future we're all building. So what's the answer? Is it higher wages? Is it better tech? Or is it something we haven't even thought of yet? The debate starts right now down in the comments. I genuinely want to know what you think. And if this got you thinking, do me a favor, hit that like button and subscribe because we need to figure this out together. Let's talk.